This is the third Insta Live we're doing around plastics. Great you're here. Oh, here we are. Oh, here we go. Oh, there you are. Great to have you. Very honored to have you. Great to have you and talk about the latest developments in the battle against plastic in Kenya. I was just talking to Karin, who you know very well, of course, as well, because you work a lot with her. Please tell us, in 2017 you implemented the plastic bag ban. Why was that? Why was that so important?
Plastics have been a problem to this country for over a long time, and you know that the plastics have not been with us for a long time. Actually, they came in around 1970s, around there, and since then their preference has gone up, and so most shopping, most products are packaged in plastic wrappers, in plastic containers, and the problem is that most of this plastic packaging is designed in such a way that it is only used once before being thrown away. Mm-hmm. And our recycling sector has not grown at the same rate as the production of the plastic containers and bags.
Would you say, excuse me, would you say there is no waste management in Kenya? Is that the problem? Is there too little waste management? Hasn't it grown with the amount of plastics that were presented to the consumers?
No, it has not grown to such an extent. You know, if plastics were not to be a menace, we needed to have recyclers. We need to have these companies that recycle the plastics, because that is one of the steps in the circular economy for plastics. And so we can say that in Kenya, what has happened is that our waste management approach is linear, has been linear, whereby all waste is mixed at the household level, in commercial centers, and so all waste is put in a truck, and then the next destination is our dump sites. And so when this waste is contaminated, and so recycling has been quite low. And for that reason, the whole country was littered with these plastics. And so our management has been weak, and there are no recyclers. They are not adequate recyclers in the country. And even those who are there, if you visit their facility, you will find that they also have heaps of plastics that they want to take to the dump site, because the technology that is here in the country cannot manage all the plastics that we have. And that is why we needed to put a stop, of course not stopping everything, but those where we have alternatives, we needed to put a stop and tell them that we already have alternatives, so we don't need this one because it is harmful to the environment.
Could you take us back to that 2017 plastic bag ban and the results, the impact it had or has? Before we talk about the single-use plastics ban you've just instated last month?
Well, for 2017, what we did was we did a total ban on polythene bags, carrier bags.
Yeah, the carrier bags. Yeah.
The reason being that we were experiencing a lot of challenges in their management, because as I said, they were single use. People use them once and then they bring them into the environment. And when we go to the market, we are given so many. And so when we throw them to the environment, they reduce the environmental aesthetics. So our environment was quite dirty. People used to burn them, and in the burning they release toxic fumes when they are burnt. Then animals used to eat them like livestock. They used to eat them, and then they fill the tummy, and then the animal ends up dying because of constipation by the bats.
And were they clogging the sewage as well?
Yes, even the sewerage. It used to be clogged. Our sewerage system used to be clogged. And even flooding when it rains in our urban centers, because even the storm drainage system receives these plastic bags, it used to be clogged. And the other thing is that they take long to decompose.
Exactly.
And so for that reason, these were negative impacts of the polythene bags. And we needed to address that problem so that the country can enjoy a clean and healthy environment as required by our constitution.
Yeah. So that had a great effect. Your ban had a direct effect on the clogging of sewage, on the liveliness of animals. So that had a great effect. And now we have this. You just recently, is it last month? You've implemented the single-use plastics ban for restricted areas.
Yes.
So tell us more about that. What is that?
Now, you realize that after we banned the polythene bags, we also realized that the environment was not getting as clean as we wanted. So there were these little single-use plastics that were scattered all over the place. Like there were PET bottles, there were cotton buds, there were pieces of cutlery, plate, clothes, and stars. We had balloons and their sticks. We had food containers. We had cups. We had cigarette butts. We had crisp packets.
So you've banned all these products? Are you saying you have banned all these products?
Yes, we have. We have banned them from our protected areas.
Okay, so even crisp packaging you've banned from those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So that's an enormous list then of products that have been banned from restricted areas. What are restricted areas? What are those?
Our restricted areas are such as game reserves where the wildlife are protected, national parks, our forest area, our beaches. Those are the areas where we don't want these single-use plastics to be used.
Wow.
And so these are restricted. They are restricted. You should not. Nobody should go with this packaging there.
Wow. So is Kenya the first to do this on the African continent? Probably the first to do that in Europe. If you would have done this in Europe, you'd be the first probably.
We are proud. We are the first to do that. We are leading. Of course, we need to note that there has been efforts in dealing with the plastics globally. Like if you look at Africa, the ban is there in 24 African countries. Some countries, one country is using levies. Then we have ban and levies in three African countries. And so you realize that there is a lot of effort in trying to deal with the plastic. But when you interrogate the ban in these countries, you realize that they have been banning some types, some gauge, some thickness of plastic. But Kenya went the total whole, whereby they banned polythene bags completely. And now for protected areas, we have gone for all single-use plastics.
Wow, so you're an example to the world. You're an example to the world.
We are very serious about it.
Yeah, wow. And you've played a major role in this, right? Getting this done.
Yes.
Wow. So how do the Kenyans themselves feel about this? How do the people feel about it? Because I mean, if you can't take your single-use plastics to the beach anymore, what do you do?
Now, of course, before we did our implementation plan for the ban, we had done our homework.
Yeah.
And Kenyans were complaining about the littering and that they could do without some of these plastics. And we realized that before, when we were coming up with the action plan to implement the ban, one of the institutions that we consulted on how many types of single-use plastics are there to be banned, we consulted the private sector, who are the key stakeholders, because they are the producers, the ones that big. And they were very happy about it. They said, yes, we can We can do without these things. We can better manage them. And so Kenyans are happy. The industry is happy. We have buy-in from the industry, and we have bigger buy-in from the Kenyans because they want to have a clean and healthy environment.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. We're running out of time. It's a short interview. I'd like to talk to Karin Boomsma as well, since she is from the industry, of course. What would you say is the greatest challenges ahead to stop plastic pollution for Kenya, maybe, but maybe for the whole African continent? What would be your lookout for the future? What is it you would like to do with your time in government?
Well, the challenges, we have several challenges. So far, the journey that we have come, we have experienced several challenges. One of them being that we have our neighbors. You know, Kenya is surrounded by countries that some of them are not at peace. And so this continue to use single-use plastics. And therefore we have this sneaking into our country illegally.
Yeah, they're smuggling plastics, single-use plastics, into your country. It's actually happening. They're smuggling plastic bags into your country.
Yes, all manner of plastic is smuggled into the country. And the main challenge, of course, is that plastics have many useful features. And so they are a best choice for many people. We have the attitude of the public is that plastics are good because they are helpful to them. They are cost effective, they are easy to use, they are convenient to store.
Of course.
You can get them in bulk purchases. You see, at very low cost. And they are light and require less storage space than other bags. And so these are good features of plastic. For that purpose, they are a good choice. And so one of the other challenges we face is availability of appropriate competing alternatives. We don't have adequate alternatives. And so that is why when we are enforcing the ban, sometimes we are forced to allow some plastic to continue being in the country under licensing in a regulated way. But you see, they are there because we don't have alternatives yet. Yeah. And the other big challenge is drifting. We have these single-use plastics drifting into our country
via rivers.
Yes, via rivers or through the ocean itself. Yeah. You can get plastics coming all the way from India.
Yeah, it does not respect plastic pollution, does not respect borders.
Yes, and our rivers, some of our rivers come from our neighbors. So this drifting is still a challenge to us, but I think as a country we are committed to addressing these challenges to make sure that single-use plastics are addressed in our country and they are well managed.
That's great to hear. Our time is up. Thank you very much, Mr. Macharia. Thank you very much for your time, and please continue your wonderful work. And great you were here with us. So thank you once again. Thank you very much, and I'll look for Karin Boomsma as once you've stopped.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So here we go. We're trying to find Karin Boomsma once again. And quickly, she's from industry. So let me have a look. Where is she? There she is. Here we go. There we go. So she's from the other side. She's actually oh, there she is again. Yeah. So we've just heard Dr. Macharia. Incredible to hear all the products that have been banned from the beaches, from the restricted areas. This will have an enormous impact, I would say, on plastic pollution in Kenya. What is your feeling on this? What you just heard? You work a lot with Dr. Macharia, of course, so you know each other.
Yes, we know each other very well, and I work within the private sector in Kenya, and seeing as we have some challenges in Kenya that are different maybe from other countries, because the waste management infrastructure is not really strong here. So there's a lot of responsibility being put on the private sector to actually solve the issues we're having, and rightfully so.
Private sector being companies, multinationals, soda companies. That's what you're talking about, right? That's what you mean by private sector.
Yes, so basically there are two things. One is that the single-use plastic ban will affect people working in the tourism and travel industry mainly, and in hospitality industry. At the moment that is completely coming to a standstill due to COVID, but people are still trying to adapt. You won't see that many investments being made, but people are very concerned and people will implement it. And will ask tourists to come with refillable water bottles, and it will definitely have a really big impact.
It's a great sector to start with, I would say. I mean, this is like the luxury segment of economy, the tourists coming in. Wouldn't that be, I mean, these are tourists coming from other parts of the world, and they're in a, how would you say, this is just a short period of time, so they might be able to adapt pretty quickly to that way of handling plastics.
Definitely, and it's also a great part of a good example, and it's also contributing to your own experience of tourism, because if you don't have polluted beaches, you know, we have the most incredible beaches from the world. I think serious, I've been to a lot of places, but it's incredible. Yeah. And if they can
turquoise water and white sandy beaches. Yeah.
And what, like white, it's like endless beaches, and if you clean them, and you have people also making, actually they're collecting it, we recycle it, we convert it into tourist products. There are very cool products being made out of flip-flops. So we have the first boat made out of flip-flops, because there's a lot of flip-flops in our country and you lose them on the beach. It's not only tourists, but you lose them sometimes.
But before we make this like a tourist ad for Kenya, please, let's go back. So what are the challenges at the moment in Kenya to make this work, to tackle the rest of the plastic as well? Because you were saying it's a waste management problem as well. Or a challenge, let me call it a waste challenge as well.
Yeah, I would go back to where Macharia started. You know, we have a linear economy, so the biggest challenge is that we want to change behavior. So when do you use what you're using? What kind of material are you using for what purpose? Should be the first question. And to make you aware of that, you start with a single-use plastic ban on restricted areas where it's super visible, like what you say. It's a very visible sector and with a big outreach, so you can do a lot of behavioral change. The big impact, though, is in the manufacturers. It's in the manufacturers and the producers that plastics as their packaging. So, you know, a milk bottle, juice, anything in the supermarket is packed in single-use plastic.
And so what is the sector doing about that right now? Because that's the same thing here where I live as well, of course. So what is different from Kenya at this moment from, what is changing?
In the Netherlands, the producers pay a levy to make sure that the waste being collected from the county, on the county and city council level, they will be divided and sorted into different waste streams. We don't have that. So everything is dumped in an open dump site. It's not even in an incinerator, it's just a dump site. So basically it's the environment. We only have open dump. So what they now want to do, and what the government is doing, they don't have the money and the tools and the capacity, and it's also not completely the role of the government, although it would help if there was, but there's no infrastructure. So what they have done is coming up with a new waste management bill with a lot of circular economy elements in it, but also the EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility Policy. And that is becoming a legislation that we as a private sector need to execute. So we will be obliged to be a member of an extended producer responsibility, so that the people who have milk in a bottle, in a PET bottle, a plastic bottle, will remain responsible for that bottle after being. And that's we are currently shaping the right business model for that. So how can we all...
So that is top down, right? This is like top down legislation. The government is saying you should make sure the producers are responsible. So on the one hand, they're making sure we have a plastic ban or a single-use plastic ban for restricted areas. We have the plastic bag ban from 2017, and now they're saying we need this EPR system to make sure that we are getting our waste management system up to par as well, right?
Yeah. It's true, and therefore they increase actually the management of waste in general.
Yeah.
And firstly, the first focus is on plastic because it's such a big issue on the environment.
Yeah.
But they want to ultimately do that for any kind of waste stream, and they've identified 17.
Wow,
So
17 waste streams. But our time is running out. Please, so Kenya is doing this, and it sounds incredible. And are they the front runner we feel they are? Is Kenya the front runner on the African continent, would you say? And what is the future? Just to finish off this interview.
Yes, I think they're definitely front runners, and I think it's definitely going to have a big impact. And because of the ban, the private sector has started thinking, okay, the government is serious, we need to collectively address this issue, and we know Kenya is capable of doing this, so let's all make an action plan and let's get to come to our senses. So yes, it will definitely make an impact, and it will be the start of the circular economy. Whether we have all the criteria in place to be a circular economy and to be a front runner very soon,
But you are working on it. You are working on it, and the government has the ambition to do so, and that's amazing to hear. So thank you very much. If there's anybody still having a question, please jot it down now, because in 1 minute I'll be signing off if there's no questions coming in. Otherwise, I'd like to thank Mr. Macharia for attending, and of course you as well, Karin Boomsma. And I'd love to come to Kenya once more and see that turquoise water and those white sandy beaches, totally spotless and clean. That would be great. And everybody watching, please note that what Kenya is doing is really special in the world. And yeah, we can take an example of what they're doing over there. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for watching. Please, this will go on YouTube as well. I'll edit it down to YouTube, and you'll also find the interviews I did with Frans Timmermans, the Vice President of the EU, and also the Dutch State Secretary, Stientje van Veldhoven, about the bottle deposits here in the Netherlands. Also very interesting interviews, and I'll throw this on YouTube as well. Hope to see you in 1 month. On this same channel, and we'll be talking to other interesting people about plastic pollution and their battle. Thank you very much. Any suggestions on who we can talk to next episode, please jot them down as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Karin.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
This is all. How do you start? how do you end this? That's always the question. Oh, here we go. So, thank you once again. Thank you very much. And any suggestions about interviews, who I could interview next time? We've talked about. Like I said, we talked with Frans Timmermans about the circular economy action plan. It was it was also, of course, also about single-use plastics. We talked about the bottle deposits. I'd like to keep this international, so if you know anybody interesting, please let me know, and any suggestions are helpful. Thank you once again, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.